and welcome back to the Premier Predictor here at the Royal Oak Pub in New Malden. On today's show, I've got Craig, who's a Fulham fan. We're going to be talking about Fulham starts the season. We're also going to be discussing if Arsenal can win the league or not this season. They've obviously started very well. So before we get into any of that, let's go over last week's results with Joe. The first game, Bournemouth-Leicester. Bournemouth came from behind to win that one 2-1. Chelsea versus Wolves. Chelsea pretty much a straightforward win for them. Wolves, really struggling without a manager at the moment. Man City, Southampton, another walk in the park from them, and Haaland scored again, as he does every game. Newcastle, Brentford, maybe game of the week. Ended up being 5-1 to Newcastle. Obviously, Brentford haven't been playing very well recently. Brighton versus Spurs, 1-0 Spurs. I actually ended up getting that one spot on. Crystal Palace Leeds. Crystal Palace ended up edging that one 2-1. West Ham Fulham. West Ham beat Fulham 3-1. Obviously without Mitrovic, Fulham probably didn't have as much attacking threat as they wanted to going into this game. Arsenal Liverpool, probably the biggest game of the weekend. Ended up being 3-2. Couple of controversial decisions in that game, but I think Arsenal overall were the better team, and Liverpool really struggling so far this season. Everton Man United. Man United 1-2-1. Cristiano Ronaldo got his 700th goal of his career, which is just insane numbers, absolutely insane numbers. And the final game, Nottingham Forest vs Villa, which is a bit of a dull game, ended up being 1-1. As you can see from the results, Joe did beat me 21-13, and he goes to the top of the current leaderboard. Right, so that's the results down of game week 9. Let's go into today's fixtures with Craig. Hello, welcome back. Right, before we get into today's predictions, let's have a little chat about Fulham and their start to the season. How do you think it's gone?
Not bad. A good opening game against Liverpool.
Oh, yeah.
Good. It's been a couple of up and down years and when we've got into the Premier League, it's really bad starts. We've had a sort of a Leicester sort of the start to this season. You're struggling. You've got the players. You've bought a load of players in the summer. It's not like you haven't done anything at all.
Because previous seasons you've spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's gone the other way, and you've gone
sometimes too much. I think this is that we still bought a lot of players in this season and tried to. We knew where we were lacking.
Yeah.
We knew who our main man was. Obviously, Mitrovic. We knew we needed some more balls, bringing in William
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff.
It's going well so far. You haven't won in a few games.
No, It shows that where we're actually improving, because sometimes the last couple of years when we went to Tottenham and Arsenal away, and the last couple of fixtures, the last couple of years coming back, we're getting absolutely battered. It's 3-0, it's 4-0, and both of them ended in 2-1, and they were scrappy. It could have ended up in a draw. We could have pinched something. It shows that everyone is playing a lot better, and it makes you. It gives you big. We're not going to come in and start taking scalps and be any bigger, but we're.
No, I think. In the predictions we did before the start of the season, I think we had Fulham to go down.
Yeah,
but I think a lot of people have changed their minds.
Yeah, it's so hard to once you're down there and you start looking up, and even at the points that we had now, obviously we've lost the last couple of games. We're still all right, even if
you're not getting thrashed.
We're not getting thrashed, and even if we lose the next couple of two, I think we'll still, even if we don't win a game for a month, we'll still be out the relegation zone, and it just gives you a lot more hope to.
You need Mitrovic back and firing. Really.
Yeah. It's frustrating. I don't think we are a one-man team, but we can also play if we know that he's out. If it goes down in a game, it's a different kettle of fish. But if he goes down before, I think we've brought people in that can sort of hopefully step up, and it's not just it's game over. He's not playing. It's really frustrating that, especially when he picked up the injury in international break. It's one of those things you're just like fuming about, but you can only
I think he'll be okay.
Hopefully
see how it goes. What about Arsenal start of the season?
Yeah,
do you think they'll win the Premier League?
Great start. It's all on Man City, really. It's playing on the big boys. Even though they played you at the weekend and they did have the better game, it was one of those nervy. But obviously, you're not playing at full strength. You're not playing at full strength, and they can. Arsenal always have the tendency to in previous years definitely slip up. Last season it was a guaranteed Champions League place. It was a guaranteed, and then it slipped away. It slipped away. So you never know.
I think the real test will be then when they play City.
Yeah. That will be when,
because they played Spurs, they played United, played Liverpool.
Yeah, they're all really cagey games, and that's why you always have to be a bit wary. They played United when anyone was beating United, everyone was beating United, and then they lost 3-1. They just took their foot off the gas. Took the foot off the gas, and then it just went really badly for them.
Yeah, I think if they continue the way they're playing, this electric football that they're playing, I don't see why not. But I was saying to one of my friends today who's an Arsenal fan, the only thing that will stop that is injuries. They don't have any injuries at the moment, really. If they lose Jesus, if they lose one of their centre backs or Odegaard,
you got to
changes like it did with Liverpool. A couple of injuries and
it's such a long drawn out year. You've got to have a bit of luck as well. Got to have a bit of luck.
I don't think they will win it. I think City are just too good, especially with Haaland scoring a stupid amount of goals. Yeah, I think they'll be up there.
Yeah,
second or third maybe.
It's a weird, because we could talk a couple of weeks from now. Haaland could go down, and it could, and then everyone starts going, well, actually, maybe if they're going to lose another 15-20 goals, maybe that draws them straight into that predicament of making it a bit more realistic. But obviously, it'll be a massive game when they play each other.
A lot of pressure. Must come out. I don't know if before the World Cup. Might be after.
A lot of pressure on both teams. Probably more so on City.
Yeah.
Especially if they drop points there, then they're for real.
Right, let's move on to this week's predictions. Right, so first game, Brentford versus Brighton. What have you got on that one?
I've gone 2-1 Brighton.
Okay.
Brighton are playing well. Little bit of bias on my part. Don't want to ever don't ever want to cheer for it. But it's definitely a game where that could flip. It could be 2-1 Brentford. It could be. It's one of those. I went with that because Brighton obviously playing really well at the moment.
Really good football at the moment. But there's always going to be goals in Brentford, especially at home. Yeah, I think because it's a Friday night game, there might be a bit of an atmosphere. Yeah. It might. I've gone for a draw. I've gone 2-2.
It definitely. I think
it's really difficult to do that one.
I think it could be.
It's really difficult.
I've just gone with the gut, but I'm more confident in saying there's going to be a goal in it. If that.
I think there's definitely goals in it. I mean, it's a bit of a difficult one to call, but that's why I've gone for a draw. Leicester versus Palace. What have you gone for that one?
1-1. Same as yourself. KG. Leicester had a woeful start of the season, but doing better game by game. It's the hardest league in the world to go. Just leave it for a little bit. But it's going to be it's KG as long as they just stop leaking goals, stop leaking silly goals. Stop.
I mean, they really should have.
It's what we were doing a couple of years ago. You can't. In the Championship, you'll have 4 or 5 chances, and maybe 1 or 2 will go in. In the Premier League, it's almost 1-for-1. If you make that big mistake, especially if it's a keeper or a centre back, it's bang straight in the back of the net. And if you're struggling for goals in that point, then you're always chasing the game. I
think they really should have got something out of Bournemouth. No credit against Bournemouth; they're playing well now. But you expect less of the team they have to really get something out of that game.
They've got the players, and they're just completely lacking in confidence.
They might have to just rely on their home form, which is why I think they'll get something out of it.
That's what you can do. You can say, look, any point away from home is a bonus, and then just make your home a fortress, and then just try and intimidate people and say, look, this is how we play football. And just throw a few curveballs.
When you have to try something different. It's just not working. But let's move on to your team, Fulham versus Bournemouth. You've obviously gone for the win.
Hopefully, I think we're a better team than Bournemouth on paper. Bournemouth they have a lot of speed on the wings that they can sort of push, and that's going to put us under pressure. But we played them before. We had their number in the Championship, and it's going to be. I think hopefully I don't know if Mitrovic is back yet. I don't know if he's back yet, but hopefully it's.
I think it'll be close.
Hopefully the defence stands strong, and we can. I think we should be keeping out Bournemouth, if that makes sense. It's a bit bold of me coming because we're both newly promoted and we're sort of in the same. But the way we've started and the way they've started, I think we are the better team.
I think since their 9-0 thrashing at Liverpool, they've actually played better. I don't think they've lost since that game. They've been playing a lot better, which is why I've gone for a draw on this one. I think probably will cancel each other out.
Yeah,
it will be close.
It will be a stalemate, and then hopefully there might be that mistake.
Would you take a point?
No.
No,
not.
These are the games you need to be winning.
Not for Bournemouth. Bournemouth away, yeah. Especially, I wouldn't take a point from Bournemouth.
All right, let's move on to the next game, which is Wolves versus Nottingham Forest.
Another sort of cagey one. That's not going to be a lot in it. They're not full of goals. Both teams are very edgy. I think they'd.
You've actually gone for a Wolves win.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be another one where there's one goal in it. It's going to be very cagey and maybe a late goal.
I think it'll be very close again.
Yeah,
I can't see either team scoring.
I think it's gonna be. Yeah, then both teams are not going to want to concede.
No, I mean that's exactly why I've gone for a 0-0.
Yeah.
I think both teams will not want to lose and need to stop the run.
Yeah, I've maybe gone 0-0, maybe the safe bet, but little mistake from the keeper, something like that. Yeah. Penalty maybe, just to get some points.
It might be. It could be last a match a day, but chances are it'll be the first game now. Yeah. Right, Spurs Everton is the late kickoff on the Saturday.
Yeah, gone for 2-0, so the same as yourself on that one.
2-0. Can't really see anything else than the Spurs win on this one.
No, I don't think so.
They are proved to be quite strong. They get a result against Brighton 1-0, keep a clean sheet.
Solid couple of goals, and I just can't see where the goals are coming from Everton at the moment.
Spurs are just defending really well this season. They're not leaking goals.
That's
the Arsenal game.
It's the safe prediction. It might be 3 or 4. Yeah. Everton might get a cheeky goal at the end, but I think 2-0 is the.
Everton are proving a bit difficult to beat. They have been the draw specialists, but I think going to Spurs. Is going to be going to
the new stadium.
Yeah. Right, let's move on to the first of Sunday's games. Villa Chelsea.
Yeah, 2-0 Chelsea. I haven't watched a lot of Villa this year, if I'm honest.
I watched some of last night's game against Forest, and they weren't brilliant.
No.
But they probably were better than Forest, but just didn't do enough.
Yeah, they're very good. But maybe it's the same thing of I haven't watching highlights and obviously Sky Sports and all that sort of stuff. It's not. I haven't seen a lot of them. I haven't been blown away. It's very mundane.
Basically, they're underperforming. They should be playing better.
I think a couple of goals from Chelsea and maybe obviously you've gone for the 2-1. Maybe they'll pick a goal.
I think they're defending well, which is why I don't think Chelsea will score that many. But I do think they'll win. Villa just could even see Gerrard sacked if it continues the way it's going. They're not only just above the relegation zone.
It's very.
I know it's early doors.
It's very plain Jane at the moment. It's very just like whatever.
Last season it's a shame because they were playing really well and some exciting stuff.
Yeah, they had bad results last year, but it was a bit more oomph, bit more. You saw more of them match of the day. There was more bit of wonder playing. So now it's very. I wouldn't like to go and see them, even away from home. We've got them in a couple of weeks, and there's nothing drawing me to that game.
I think if they had Coutinho firing and playing well, he's just not playing well at all. I don't think he's got a goal or assist this season. Yeah. If they get him playing well, then it might start ticking, but easier said than done. Yeah. Leeds Arsenal is the next game. Will Arsenal win again?
Well, we've both gone for the 1-0 and 2-0. I think so. I can't think of maybe Leeds getting a goal, maybe a 2-1, but same principle as the Spurs game. I think they're just better. I've gone for the safe 2-0.
Yeah. Leeds started well at the season. Now they've kind of just tailed off. Yeah. Not sure why. They're kind of reverting back to Leeds of last season a little bit. Yeah. Maybe I'm being too harsh.
I don't think they've reverted. I think they've just gotten figured out. Yeah. Obviously, losing a couple of their big players, it's never going to hurt. But we've had that for years and years. You have a really good season, and then you get pinched. You get pinched by the bigger teams. Yeah. But you have to adapt to that. You can't be we will just play the exact same way with someone of less ability in the same role. You're just not going to get the same results.
I don't know if Jesse Marsch is the right manager for them. I mean,
Yeah.
time will tell, but I don't know. They could be good. Something's just holding them back. I don't know quite what it is.
And maybe it's just a run of okay results that, especially staying up last year, it could have been completely different.
They'll just want Premier League safety again. I think that's all they'll want to do. Man United, Newcastle.
Yeah.
Both gone for a win.
Yeah, surprising.
You think Newcastle will score? They have been playing well.
I think it will be. You can. I think Man United are just too leaky at the moment to. Even if it's a 2-0 and cruising, they'll just switch off for a little bit. Me personally, just watching, even if they've got the game in the bag and it's maybe a penalty, a silly free kick or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, thinking about it, I think it'd be their first real test, maybe in Man United away.
Yeah.
I've actually put them Man United to keep a clean sheet. Weirdly enough, I think they'll do it.
Yeah.
But then it's just with Newcastle, like you would never have thought they'd score 4 goals and then 5 goals.
Yeah.
They're just unheard of. That's going back to like 90s or early noughties Newcastle they do.
Yeah,
now they're doing it again. You think,
coming back from giving us a good thrashing. And
will they get Europe? Or is that a bit push this season?
If they've got the firepower to start beating the lesser teams round, obviously they want to be pushing for. I don't know what they would say in the boardroom. Is a top 10 good result for them, or
I think they'll probably want something.
Or the big boys at the top saying, look, we want European football, and that might change the sort of dynamic of it. It will definitely change the spending. It will change
they'll just put more money in maybe.
The whole view of I don't know any Newcastle fans to ask them what they think. Are they pushing, or is it?
I don't think they'd be disappointed with 8th because it's a big improvement on last season, and then maybe go for Europe the following season because it is still transitioning. You're not just going to like throw money at a club and then automatically going to get Euro that season. It does take time.
Even City took a couple of years of.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I don't think it's a disappointing season if they're 8th or 9th. No. But obviously, it's a stepping block for next season. So, right, Southampton, West Ham. We've both gone for a 1-1 on that one.
Yeah, another sort of stalemate. Maybe.
Southampton really not playing well. Another team that are just not going.
I think maybe West Ham might, seeing them play at the weekend and sort of the way that we were playing it. I think West Ham have gotten to a bad start, but they're getting better game by game. I think I've sort of gone safe with that one, but I can see West Ham winning a lot more than Southampton.
Yeah, definitely. I think if it was going to go anywhere, it'd be West Ham.
Yeah.
But I think Southampton, they need to get like a point. They need to stop losing.
Yeah.
But West Ham play Thursday. I don't know if they play away. That sometimes has a bit of an effect.
Yeah, there's a busy schedule, and they'll have to rotate a couple of players, and they can just have one of them dud games, which West Ham tends to do, especially the first couple of games in the season when they were bad.
I think Southampton will be happy with a point in that one. Right, probably the game of the weekend: Liverpool versus City. We've gone very different on this one.
Yeah. I've gone. It's completely different kettle of fish when you're playing at Anfield, probably the most intimidating stadium.
Even if they're not playing well, it's still a tough.
Yeah, it's everyone gets an uplift. Everyone's singing. Everyone's bouncing. Especially if you get that early first goal. The goals that City are scoring at the moment, and a couple of them mistakes that Liverpool have been doing on the defence.
Yeah.
All it takes is 10 seconds of brilliance from Haaland and De Bruyne and people like that, and maybe a cheeky penalty that's not going to be. But it's a derby for the league. It's going to be one of those ones where it could easily be 3-1 the other way too. It could be any score. I don't really. You can't.
Yeah, it's a tough
go
one.
in. You can't go into the.
I'm being biased just because I'm a Liverpool fan, but
yeah.
we tend to sort of show up for these games.
Yeah.
Like the Barcelona in the Champions League a few seasons ago.
Yeah, it's same with...
Everyone wrote us off for that one. Yeah. I think people will write us off for this one. Same
with Chelsea. They'll go and to the go to Anfield and give you a good game, and they'll go to Trafford and then they'll lose to Wolves.
Yeah,
it's just a...
So, I have gone for Liverpool win. could get outplayed, and it could be another game.
Like heated. All it takes is maybe a red card to completely change.
At our best and some to win. I'll be happy with a draw.
Fulham needs to be blindfolded.
Yeah, I mean we kept them quiet in the Community Shield. Seems like a lifetime ago now, that game.
And since then he's just
yeah. So who knows on that one? I guess we'll have to wait and see on Sunday. Right, that is it. Craig, thank you very much for coming on this week.
Thank you.
Yes, please do subscribe to the channel, and if anyone can predict the Liverpool City game, I will pin that comment in the comments below. Right, that's all we have time for today. We'll see you in the next video. See ya.